Hello, this is Andrew Unum with the Sure Sales Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, back with the January edition of This Month in Housing. I'm going to jump right to it because we have a lot to cover. And first thing I'd like to let everybody know, most agents know what's happening. I think that's a fair statement. Good agents understand what's happening, but great agents can explain what's happening. And we're coming to you today to explain what's going on with the market dynamics, and boy, have a lot changed. Starting off, 2024 forecasts, okay? This is not just from me, this is from a lot of smart people. 2024 home price forecast. This is, are the prices gonna go up? Are they gonna go down? If you look at this chart from the Mortgage Bankers Association, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Goldman Sachs, NAR, Zillow, Realtor.com, if you blend them all up, 1.5% going up. People think the home prices are still going to go up. I believe that because interest rates are dropping precipitously, which we'll talk about. Inventory is still low. But you have some folks, Zillow, Realtor.com, think prices might go down. But listen to me, they're going up, okay? Mortgage Bankers Association thinks they're going up 4+%. Total home sales forecast. Why is this important? Well, the number of homes sold every year dictates, that's the inventory, that's the pace of the market. This year in 2023, everyone thought, hey, we might do almost 5 million, 4.5 million, 5 million, which has been a good number over the last few years. Well, guess what? We're going to do 3.9 million. Turns out when rates go up really high, people don't buy as many homes, 3.9 million. But what's it going to be in 2024? A lot of people are saying over 5 million again, which here's what that means. Prices are going to go up. More homes are going to sell because the affordability is coming down. So we're going to unlock a lot of inventory with lowering interest rates. A lot more homes are going to sell, not just because buyers can afford more, that's certainly something. A lot of sellers are now willing to sell their house because they can actually afford their next one. No one wants to sell their house at a 3% mortgage rate and go buy something at 8%. Those days are gone, 2023 is over. Look out, a lot of transactions coming in 2024. Mortgage rates drop for 5th consecutive week. Now this is from July till about the end of November. That's when we have the data. Mortgage rates dropped for 5 weeks. They went from 7.7 down to 7.2. Fast forward to today, right here, early 2024, you're down to about 6, low 6%. FHA, VA, I'm seeing stuff in the 5s. I'm gonna repeat that. Stuff's in the 5% again. That is historically an amazing rate. We're going from high 7s to high 5s rapidly. Unbelievably important. I think 30-year fixed conventional, you're low 6s, okay, if you have the right lender. And one of the components of value we bring to the relationship when we're serving buyers is we help them get the best mortgage rate. Take that, put that in your back pocket. Most agents don't know how to do it, God bless them. All right, let's talk about buyer demand. Showing traffic above pre-pandemic numbers, which means we kind of like to remove those unicorn years. What was going on in COVID? Well, the world was a little different, would you agree? So if we take those out, showings, the amount of people going to look at homes, way up from pre-pandemic numbers. If you're looking at the index, I mean, it's up like 20, 30%, which means a lot more people are going to look at homes. Now, are they buying them? Not yet, but as inventory increases, as these rates come down, there's a lot of pent-up demand, which makes me believe the Mortgage Bankers Association prices going up 5% makes a lot more sense than them going down. I don't see a world where they go down. I don't see how that would happen. Okay, I thought this was an interesting take from Zillow's latest market report. Here's what they said. Despite mortgage rates reaching 23-year highs, okay, that would put me in at what, like 5th grade? 23-year highs, low inventory levels are spurring surprisingly strong competition. Because normally when interest rates go up to a 23-year high, everything else drops off. It kills the market. But because low inventory levels are spurring surprisingly strong competition, depleted inventory stocks are gradually recovering and price appreciation is slowing, but demand has remained resilient and attractive. Appropriately priced listings are moving quickly. And we're going to talk about how fast they're going. All that means, guys, is house they're selling quick, the prices are going up, there's pent-up demand. Let's talk about affordability, okay? Affordability is a big thing in this country. You got a lot of people crying wolf, I'll never be able to buy a house. You will if you plan, you will if you get ahead of the game, you will if you skate to where the puck's going, and maybe have a real estate and lifestyle planning session. More on that later. Mortgage payment to income ratio. Well, guess what? That's falling off a cliff, almost below the historical average of 25%. Mortgage payment to income ratio, about 25%. 25% of my income goes to my mortgage. We're a little bit over that today, okay? But with the rates coming down, we're gonna drop below that level, which means historically, homes are still affordable. People don't think so, but when the rates come back down, as they have been, it's gonna be affordable for people, so it's good to plan. Home prices. This is why you wanna get in the game. We go back to 1991, we like to do a comprehensive approach. 1991 to 2023, Mid-Atlantic, that's where we are. Mid-Atlantic, South Atlantic, home values went up 338%. All across the country. Everything's just, real estate over the long term is a win. This is a fun chart, Brandon. Throw this one up there, percent changes in home prices. It's just good for people to see. There's not many people who say, man, I really regret buying a bunch of real estate 30 years ago. You'll never hear anyone say that. You're never gonna hear anyone say that. And guess what, 20 years from now, you know what you're gonna be saying? Man, I should have bought 4 of those. Well, people are afraid because they don't have the planning, they don't have the nuanced vision to talk with an expert and execute on these things. Okay, average number of offers received on the most recent closed sale. This is interesting because no one wants to get in a bidding war. God forbid, unless you know how to win, because we know good agents get paid in direct proportion to the information they gather, not the information they give. Okay, but I gotta stick to the news, but this is tactical, this is technique. You know, principles don't change, tactics do, but here's a principle. You get paid in direct proportion to the information you gather, not the information you give when you're a real estate professional. So make sure your agent knows how to ask good questions. If you want better answers, ask better questions. Still, average home sold 2023, 2.5 offers. 2.5 offers. So a lot of buyers coming around saying, oh, I'm gonna wait for the market to crash and I'm gonna come in and steal something. It's just not happening. In 2021, pre-pandemic, 4 offers on every house. Still 2.5 offers on every house, which means one person gets it. What happened to the other 1 or 2 people? They're still out there looking, demand is strong. Okay, demand is strong. So if you're a seller, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Okay, inventory, active listing count. This is interesting. 2017, 1.2 million active listings. 2018, 1.2 million active listings. 2019, 1.1. Take out the pandemic stuff, ready? We're jumping to 2023. 754,000 active listings. Almost half, a little more than half. Low inventory, strong demand. What's that mean? Prices will go up, especially as affordability comes down. So all the messages, if you're a seller, congratulations. And if you're a buyer, it's about to be a lot more affordable. You're gonna have to get your ducks in a row and know how to win. Okay, you gotta know how to win in housing in 2024. And you only win if you get your offer accepted. All right, change in inventory, year over year, November 2023, from November 2022, because we'll go back about a year, we're down 10% here in Maryland. That's just interesting. It was low before, and it's even lower now in Maryland. So if you're a Mid-Atlantic buyer or seller, good time to sell. It's gonna be tough to buy, but affordability is coming. Okay, listing opportunities, this is interesting. Percentage of sellers who moved at least 100 miles, okay? 18 to 34, I'll just throw this graph up there. A lot of people are moving over 100 miles. Look at 55 to 64. 40% of the people that moved 100 miles. That's alarming. 65 to 74, 45% of those people who moved 100 miles. 75 and older, 45% of them moved 100 miles. That's pretty far, which leads me to this, and this is important, an important dynamic to understand. Top reasons why sellers sold, okay, in 2023. 74% of them want to move closer to friends or family, hence the 100 miles. Interesting. Then you have retirement, job relocation, change in family situation, neighborhood became less desirable. Guys, people want to be close to their family, and I think COVID may have exacerbated that because people couldn't get close to their family. Boy, oh boy, interesting to know. Now, tactically, what do you do with it? Any number of things, but it's important to know why people are moving, okay? Because if you know what to do and how to talk to people, I always like to say, hey, if you know what's going on, you'll know what to do. Well, that's what's going on. People want to live closer to friends and family. So know that. It might help your buyer profile, demographic targeting when you're representing a seller, okay? Important stuff. Home prices, 1 in 4 still believe prices will depreciate. So that means you get a room of 10 people, 2.5 of them, think homes are going down. You hear that. Those are typically the loudest ones. The market's gonna crash. The market's gonna crash. Election year. They've been saying that forever. In COVID, the market's definitely gonna crash. Well, guess what? It blew up. the market's not going to crash. But interesting, 1 in 4 people still think that. Typically, probably, I'd argue, the uneducated people, but hey, who am I to judge? 49-year average monthly price movement. Interesting. The price movement, very seasonal, as you see in this chart. March, April, May, June, you see the most amount of price movement upward, but none of these numbers go negative. This is a 49-year average, month over month. In January, prices go up. February, March, April, May, June, pretty high. All that's saying is, hey, look, if you want to really maximize your equity, spring still looks like the best time. I'd argue here in Baltimore City, where the people don't really care about the schools and they don't have kids, moving into schools, very transient. I think we're pretty steady, and I could pull up some data on that. But historically, spring market's pretty good. Interesting, good to know at the beginning of the year. Okay, 49-year average versus 2023 price movement, same thing, but the prices went up even higher March, April, May. If you're a seller in 2024, get your ducks in a row now so you can go coming soon in March, go active in April, and statistically, you probably have the highest chance of maximizing your equity. Take it for what it's worth. Data's the data, okay? People don't argue with the data. 2023 year-end home price forecasts, again, we're looking at Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, Zillow. Average them all, home prices up 4.6%. Up 4.6%. Should you buy now? No, I want to pay 5% more and wait. Silly, okay? Home sales. Let's talk about home sales. Average days on the market. This is interesting. This is going from January 2019 all the way to, where we are currently. Average days on the market, 23 days. We're staying in the 20s. So if you put your house on the market, know this, within 20 days, your home's gonna be under contract. And then maybe 30 days after that, everything's gotta be out. It really exacerbates the point where you have to plan properly so you're not rushing around when you're selling real property. One of the beautiful things about this asset class is you can't snap your fingers and liquidate it. Ooh, I don't feel good about that, sell all my stock. You can do that with the click of a button. You can't do that with real estate. And where you can lose money, you can lose time, you can lose energy, is if you don't plan properly. Moving's a big deal. It's not just about maximizing the equity when you sell, you maximize equity and money throughout the process by winning at every single phase of the game. And one of which is not having unnecessary expenses because you didn't plan properly. Average days on the market, 23 days. Interesting. Existing home sales year over year, we're down. We already knew that because this year was 3.9 million versus normally we're hovering around 5 million. Existing home sales, way down. Total home sales, look at 2021, 22, 23, we're down. This is a great graph. Study that one. But guess what? It's coming back. Everything's cyclical, okay? Pending home sales. This is a cool chart. Pending home sales, 100-year historical healthy level, historical healthy level on this chart's right around 100. We're down to 70. Pending home sales, there's not a lot of stuff pending. Why is that? Well, there's not a lot of stuff for sale. And furthermore, there's a lot of buyers who couldn't afford homes at 7%, but guess what? We're back down. Things are gonna change. Things are gonna change. Pending home sales by region, way down. But we know that. That's to be expected. Now let's talk about prices again. Change year over year. Year over year in home prices. Home prices are up 20% from 2012. That's pretty good, 20%. You're not gonna get that kind of return many places on a big asset that you can leverage with a low interest rate mortgage. 20%, I'll leave that at that. Yeah, I bought a home for 500K and now I'm up to 600K. Pretty incredible, okay? Year over year percent change in price, okay? 2023, 4.5%. You probably made 4.5% of your total home's value in 2023, forecasting 22.6% on US Home Price Insights. Let's talk a little bit more about inventory. Again, important right now. Month over month, we are down 2.8% in Maryland. Month supply of inventory of homes for sale. This chart, you see we bottom out January 2022, right after COVID, during COVID. We bottom out, there's almost no inventory for sale. We hit another bottom in January 2023. You can see that curve going up, but in January 2024, it's gonna come back down. Not a lot of inventory. And this is where people think, and I know I just said, it's the best time to sell, March, April, May, June, historically. But when supply is really low, it's also an opportunity. Okay, if there's no other homes on the market and yours is the only one, supply and demand, okay? So just because it's not spring, don't think you can't sell in the winter, because boy, here we're selling 500 homes a year, 2 a day every weekday. I've seen a lot of sellers win in the winter when there's not a lot of competition. Interesting. Year over year inventory levels. This is hilarious. 2024, okay, we're up in that 10% range. 2015 to 2018, we lost some inventory year over year. Up in 2019, look at COVID. It just falls off a cliff. We go back up, and I'm telling you right now, inventory is gonna come. It's gonna come this year. We're gonna see it skyrocket because there's been so much pent-up demand. We don't have any historical data on a global pandemic that shuts down the country. What we've learned is people did want to move. People don't like to be stuck. We're finally unlocking all of that pent-up demand now that mortgage rates are gonna allow sellers to sell and feel confident and buyers to buy to feel confident. Year over year, 2024 is gonna be a banger. So we talked about inventory levels. Let's talk a little bit more about buyer demand. This is interesting. Home showings declined compared to August numbers, but still remain above pre-pandemic levels. People are showing a lot of houses. We don't need to go into the weeds there. Showings have increased. More and more buyers are out on the streets. They're looking at properties. Buyers and sellers remain active in every economic environment, including when mortgage rates are high. Buyers determined to find a home they love will continue visiting homes with their agents. And as we mentioned previously, some sellers are reducing prices, which presents an opportunity for those buyers. Well, guess what? That was September 2023 data from ShowingTime. I don't see sellers reducing much. I don't see sellers reducing much at all when inventory levels are still low, and now 20–30% of buyers can afford way more. It's gonna be interesting. Mortgage rates, 30-year fixed rate. We don't need to beat this one to death. They went from the 2s, they went up to almost 8. Fastest as they ever have in history, but guess what? They're dropping almost as fast as they have in history, because we went from almost 8s to almost 5s very quickly. And with Jerome Powell, they're expecting 3 rate cuts. No one can predict this, but all indicators are they're gonna continue cutting because we've got inflation kind of where we want it. If rates come back to the 5s, if they come back to the 4s, it's gonna unlock so much inventory and people are gonna be trading property right and left. The question is, are you gonna be ready for that? Or are you gonna sit on the sidelines like you may have done in COVID and said, oh man, I could have bought, locked into a crazy low 2% rate at a good price, and not only am I locked in low, my home value skyrocketed. Or are you gonna sit on the sidelines again? I don't know, it's up to you. But if you don't love where you live and you're interested in changing the financial bloodline of your family by growing equity in real estate, tax-free, you might wanna get in the game. We'd love to talk to you about that. Mortgage rate projections, people think we're gonna be in the 6s for most of 2024. I'm gonna be bold and say, I think we're going to the 5s. I think conventional loans will be in the 5s by Q3 at the latest. We have the election year, things are gonna be wonky. Most people are projecting in the 6s. I think we're going in the 5s. So Brandon, remember this, January, this month in housing, I called it. We're gonna be in the 5s and it might even go into the high 4s because I just think that's what the government needs to do to help these buyers buy homes. Home prices are gonna keep going up. We have to make them affordable, okay? So again, where's mortgage rates going? They're saying, we're gonna go from 7.5 to 6.3. We're kind of already at 6.3, which is why I'm super bullish on going even lower to 5s. I just think we're gonna go lower than people think. You can't raise them up that high and not have it come back down, okay? It's like physics. Everything, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. Okay, you tried to kill the real estate industry, you couldn't. We're resilient. We still sold 3.9 million homes with no inventory, with sky-high mortgage rates. They're coming back down. So, and let me end with this, because this is important. Oh my God, mortgage rates, what happened in 2008? Lending standards still under control. In the housing bubble, okay, when we were doing all those bad mortgages, 24, 25, 26, 27, which led to 2008, they have this mortgage credit availability index. We were redlining at 868. That's just the number for the index, meaning everybody's getting loans. Everyone's getting 2, 3, 4, 5 loans. Well, guess what? Now we're almost historically low. Lending standards are tight. Okay, people who are buying homes now can afford them. They're safe. There's a ton of equity. Foreclosures are at all-time lows. And even if you see the news, foreclosures up 100%. Yeah, it's up 100% from nothing. It's still so low. Lending standards are in place. Owning real property in this country is going to be more fruitful. It's going to be as fruitful as it has been over the last 100 years. But you got to know this data because things change. Okay, things change. Inventory changes, mortgage rate changes, buyer demand changes, regulations change, presidents change policy. We can't control that, but we can control what action we take. And you have to be aware of these things. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is not an excuse in the court of law. Okay? Being ignorant doesn't help you. Being aware of it so you can make informed, intelligent decisions is how you win. And here at the Sure Group, all we want to do is help our clients win, which is why we study this, why we kind of bring it to you fast and furious. But if you're interested in this, we'd love to have a real estate and lifestyle planning session so we can figure out what makes sense for you. And look, you're gonna get unbiased opinions from us. I'd rather not sell you a house and say, man, I'm glad I talked to that guy. That's how this business works. People who don't operate like that are out. So thanks for tuning in to This Month in Housing. Again, my name's Andrew, I'm at the Sure Group. I look forward to talking to you next month. Be great, nothing else pays.